Hi, and welcome to the SoCal Yearbook Gal Education Series designed to inspire, encourage, support, and make your life easier. This week we are talking about making your portrait pages reader-friendly. But before we get started with that, I would like to talk about the yearbook production plan, what to do when. We're on the second week of November. And under People and Connections, right now, let's talk about discussing the proofs and the process with the representative. So whatever proofs you have, if you're actually getting printed proofs, I know those are kind of going by the wayside right now, but if you're not doing printed proofs, are you doing PDF proofs? How are you looking at your pages before you submit them? Do you actually print them out, or are you all digital? I did a video fairly recently at the end of this last year about proofing on the iPad, which I thought was a really cool way of doing things. I had the Apple Pencil and the iPad, and I was able to go through for one of my advisors and help her with her edits and make sure that everything looked good. So I like doing it that way. It feels almost like paper, but it's more green. And but think about that, see what your options are. I really like doing everything digitally, especially if you're able to work off of PDFs. As far as organization and planning goes, we're going to talk about this in just a second, but designing your portrait pages to be reader friendly. And then editorial and photo, check your senior names against official school records. I'd like to talk about maybe taking that up a level and to check all of the names in your book off of like that master list of names. And if you could just make sure that these names are spelled correctly. I had a parent actually call me, this was a couple of years ago now, but this parent was really upset and wanted a refund on the yearbook. And this wasn't a book I was doing. I was actually the rep for the school, but the parent found my contact information and said, I'm just outraged. I can't believe that this happened. And I was like, what happened? Oh my gosh, tell me all about it. And the parent said that her daughter's name was spelled wrong in the book. And I was like, oh, no, I completely understand. Like, names are really important and it should have been spelled correctly. I get this. And I asked what was the matter with the name? How was it misspelled? And it was the second C. I think the last name was McCollum or something like that. It was the second C wasn't capitalized. And this parent was really, really upset and wanted a refund on the book. And I had never heard anything like that, but I get it. Like, when people spell my name wrong, they spell my name CYNDI or something like that. Like, I feel like you're not really caring about me and the way my name is spelled. And so I get it. And you probably feel the same way. Whenever somebody sends you an email or something and your name is misspelled, it doesn't feel good. It feels like that person doesn't really care. So your job as a yearbook advisor and as a yearbook staff is to make sure that people want to purchase your book, that when they do get your book, that they want to keep your book. And one of those ways is to make sure that you put students in your book, but also make sure that you put the spelling of their names correctly in there and be really cautious about it. You should have a master list of all of the students in your school. Have somebody in the editing process go through, just have a team dedicated to this, go through and just verify that the names are spelled correctly. As far as book and ad sales and promotion goes, you can plan a holiday sale and promotion to keep up the momentum from National Yearbook Week. We had National Yearbook Week last month, but holiday sales are awesome. People love sales, or they love to know that they can get some sort of a deal, right? So if you say, hey, the books right now, at least, they're probably still at their first tier as far as the pricing goes. So maybe you do a holiday sale that includes something like, for a limited time, you can still get your books at the first, at the early bird discount. But on top of that, you can also get, a sticker, like one of our high school branded stickers or something like that, or a pencil or some sort of perk for that. But also make sure that you market this. Make sure that everybody knows that the books they're for sale right now and it's time to order their books early. As far as staff development goes, it's really just great. It says have students keep worksheets, self-evaluations, and interview notes in a file by spread. When I think file, I don't think actually printed file. I think about having a Google Drive, Google Doc in there that just has the critiques or any sort of notes. So when you're making your staff manual, put your notes throughout the year in there and organize it. But definitely, I would definitely keep it all virtual. So going back to the organization and planning, design your portrait pages to be reader friendly. I really love having sidebars and modules in the portrait section. I've seen this done well so many times, but remember when you're doing your portrait pages that if it's just pages and pages and pages of student portraits, it's not going to be quite as interesting as if you had something in there that's exciting and fun. So for example, you can have, I did this earlier, and I may have said this in an earlier video, but when I was doing the K-8 yearbook at one of my schools, we did for the second graders, I thought it was so cute. We did a little module and it went in the student portrait section for second grade, but we said, what's in your backpack? And they like shook out their backpacks, and it was hilarious and so precious because they had there's like crumpled up permission slips and candy and like old sandwiches and stuff like that. And we just took a picture of the little kiddo with their backpack all dumped out, and they're like, or something like that. So cute. And it's so fun to read. So even like the 8th graders or, parents obviously too, but everybody wants to look at that because it's cute and it's fun. So put fun stuff in your portrait section, and just, maybe even taking up 2 rows of portraits to put in a module. We did this also with the seniors with their trunks. So, what's in your trunk? They would open up their trunks. Don't give them any warning. Just say, what's in your trunk? And then take a picture. I was telling one of my schools when I went to visit with them, I said, man, if you looked in my trunk right now, I'd have like a climbing rope, and I'd have leashes for my surfboard. Like I'd have all this crazy stuff. It's always in there. There's a ton of sand. But like there are some things that people just kind of keep in their trunks, and they, mine certainly is not clean, but there's a bunch of fun stuff. And if I'm ever, in a place where I can go rock climbing, I have my climbing gear with me. So anyway, but kids have that too. So it's really fun. You can, it would make the underclassmen want to look at the senior portraits too. So anyway, just some fun ideas for you. Hope that goes well. And I love the creativity that I'm seeing. Keep up the great work. Take care, guys.